So this problem says a Broadway theater has 500 seats divided into orchestra, main, and balcony seating. Orchestra seats sell for $150, main seats for $135, and balcony seats for $110. If all the seats are sold, the gross revenue to the theater is $64,250. If all the main and balcony seats are sold, but only half of the orchestra seats are sold, the gross revenue is $56,750. How many of each kind of seat are there? So this is actually a problem that we got to break down piece by piece. So the first thing it says, I just look at the first sentence, a Broadway theater has 500 seats divided into orchestra, main, and balcony seating. So all three of those together are 500. So that's my first equation here. So it's going to be, now I want to use letters that relate to what I'm talking about here. So the letters I can use are maybe M, B, and I don't really want to use O because it looks like a 0, but I can use an R. So I'll use M, B, and R. R for orchestra. Okay, so I know then M plus B plus R equals 150. Now not equals 150, equals 500. Now it says after that, it says orchestra seats sell for $150, main seats for $135, and balcony seats for $110. So I don't get anything from that right away. But when I start talking about money of these seats, now keep in mind my M and my B and my R, they represent the number of seats. Okay, not a dollar amount, but the number of seats. So if you want to write that down, you can, but I'm not going to. So if I want to talk about how much money it costs for, let's say, orchestra seats, I would write 150R, and that's going to be the dollar amount of the orchestra seat tickets. Okay, so if I know that, and it says if all the seats are sold, the gross revenue is $64,250. So that means if I take all the amounts of the seats here, so the amount of money that the orchestra seats are going to be $150, and then the main seat, that's going to be plus 135 M plus 110 B, and that's going to equal 64,250. So that's the second equation. Now for the third equation we're going to get, it says if all the main and balcony seats are sold, but only half of the orchestra seats tickets are sold, then the gross revenue is going to be $56,750. So now what that means for us then is, so if all the main seats are sold, so that's 135 M, because we're still talking about money here, and the balcony seats are sold, okay, so that's plus 110 B, but half of the orchestra seats are sold. Now, the orchestra seats go for $150, but only half of them, or I can put 0.5 in here, of the orchestra seats are sold here. Then that equals 56,750. So there's our three equations, but I should fix the last one though. I shouldn't keep it that way. So I'm going to just multiply 150 times 0.05, and that's going to give me 75 because it's half of it. So now those are our three equations. Now what we have to do is we have to do that system like we did earlier. So we're just going to use the elimination method 3 times now. But this is going to be terribly long, I think, because these are pretty big numbers. So anyways, here we go. So what I'll do is I'll take the first two equations, 1 and 2 here, And I'm going to find the opposites of the M, and I'll get rid of the M for these. Now, keep in mind here, I put them out of order here, so I have to be careful with my order. So maybe I should rewrite them and put them in the right order. So at least they'll all match up and line up. Okay, so here they go. Now looking at this again, now that I have everything in order, I want to get rid of the B's now. Take a look at those. That'll be easier there to get rid of the B's since the last two are 135M. So I can take the first two and get rid of the M's. And that means I'm going to multiply the top one by 135, negative 135. So again, I'm going to just write this out. That'll be a negative 135R minus 135M minus 135B, and that's going to equal negative 67,500. And then I'm going to just bring down the next one, the second one. So it's going to be 150R minus 1 or plus 135M plus 110B, and that's going to equal 64,250. And I'm just going to add those together. So then my M's go away, and I end up with. Now what I'm going to do is do the second two, because remember the first one I did the first two to get that 15R negative 25B equals negative 3250. Now I'm going to do the second and the third one. Okay. And I'm going to have to multiply only the top by a negative. So I can get away with that. I can say, hey, negative 1. And that's going to make my M's opposites. Okay, so I'm going to go through with that. What was nice when I took the second two here, it got rid of the M's and the B's, which was nice. So that just left us with negative 75R equals negative 7,500, which then R is going to equal 100. So the nice thing about that is I can just back substitute from there. I don't have to add again. So I can just go back to the equation above that one that I came up with, this one here. And I can actually plug in 100 for R now. So then that's going to be 15 times 100 minus 25B equals negative 3250. And then just solve this equation here, and I'll get. So then going through the algebra, B equals 190. And then I just go back to the beginning, and I'm just going to use that top equation here. And with that top equation, it's going to be very straightforward for me to come up with M for my last piece. So then R equals 100, so I won't put the R there. I'll just go 100. And then my M I don't know. Plus B is 190, and that equals 500. So then M is going to equal 210. So now we have all three answers for this. So my orchestra seat ticket, or my orchestra seats are 100. I have 100 seats. My balcony seats, I have 190. And my main seats, I have 210. So there's our answers for that problem. So we should probably write that information out for the word problem. So there would be our answer. $100 orchestra seats, 190 balcony seats, and 210 main seats.